as well educated as the people that run things. I know that. So if they don't fucking know that, what the fuck are they elected?
Yeah, and again, all respect to all Indians out there, but we all know Punjabis have it's not a wise idea to try to take our money. I wouldn't advise it.
Well,
I wouldn't
people
advise
nowadays, the fancy term for that stuff is called generational trauma.
Yeah, there's so much of that floating around nowadays. You gotta
holy shit!
Generational trauma because.
Because how many times can your culture be fucked over, by the banking systems of old and new before their culture wises up and says, no, you don't let people, do that to you. There's still people this day that they don't trust the banks. I've known people in my life that they don't want to put money in the bank. They don't trust the FDIC because all that stuff came around after runs on the banks that happened during the Great Depression. And, in American culture, at least at that time, and you see it in the Mafia culture, especially where the dudes would be burying money in the backyard instead of putting it in the bank. Because you never know, you go there, you put your ATM card and they got no cash for you. And bro, nowadays the banks don't even carry cash on them. They're cashless banks. They get their money on loan and they pay it back in interest to the central banks.
I know one Punjabi guy,
loans and stuff like that, like they used to.
I've known him for a while. Okay, and when the price of gold, was years ago when it was way less, like $1,200 an ounce and everything in the good old days, so to speak.
It was down to $300 or $400 an ounce. It was less.
Please, would you please shut the fuck up?
I'm spending $400 for this ounce.
Can you not remind me of that?
Is $400? Isn't that the stupidest? Anyway, isn't that crazy? $400.
Yeah, as somebody that was in the jewelry business at that time and wishes to God that they would have been smarter and fucking been like their friend, they'd bought an ounce of. There was a point in time, this guy that I'm talking about, every single check, this guy would, and he was in a good paying job, obviously, but he would dedicate $1,000 of every check to buy gold.
Yeah.
He lived very modestly, but he would dedicate $1,000 to buy gold. He never put any money in and he had a safe.
Yeah.
And his, and this guy,
hand, you don't want to just have an IOU there.
And this son of a bitch must be sitting so fucking free. He must be like, all right, and check.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and had I been smarter instead of, in my defense,
you can digitize that asset now. I watched or listened to at least a podcast with Peter Schiff. He's an economist, and he was he showed off his. I think it was on Rogan actually. It was he showed off this debit card that he has. It's like a metal, like a gold debit card. One you definitely don't want to leave at the bar or anything like that.
It's probably the American Express black card, if I recall correctly. That's one of the metal ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But what it does is, it's like when you debit something from it, it actually takes from your bank, your gold vault, and they remove weight, of the equivalent of the American dollar that you're spending. So you still spend in dollars or whatever. And then they just kind of take that out of your vault and use that towards your purchases and stuff like that. So the system's there, and that was years ago. I probably listened to that podcast 3 or 4 years ago at this point. So
it definitely is insane how much the metals have gone up. I never thought I would see the day in my life where silver went to $80-$90 an ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, kicking myself in the ass for all the silver that I used to have. I mean, holy shit.
Well, and driven a lot as well from China too. I heard that China's buying up a lot of it as well. And look at their tech sector and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's the same with India too, and producing goods like that anything electronic that requires so much gold and silver in it. Like now, even like collecting old iPhones and old technology like that, you can scrape and reuse and recycle so much of the precious metals out of those things. Like it's more valuable than the piece of equipment itself anymore because it's obsolete. Like, but just getting the metals out of them, kind of like the meth heads get the copper out of the old busted ass homes and stuff like that. You know,
or catalytic converters for the platinum.
Yeah, catalytic. Yeah, same deal. Like that should be like another thing too, where like I don't think enough of that is taken from like used electronics and those types of things. So much of that shit's just sitting in landfills, just waiting to be harvested, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. I mean, it's no two ways about it that we as a human race have been rather wasteful and not the best at reusing, resources, etc. I mean,
well, and it's about the cost versus value, right? So, like, if you have like the
always.
cost of like the copper that's gone up so much in our lifetime, then just like something that just would have been a pipe laying on the ground. Now, if you're a scrapper, that's a really important piece of pipe that you want to sell and trade and things like that. So, I mean, with the like you mentioned, the price of silver going up that high, now there's more of an incentive to use that type of stuff as opposed to throwing it away. Now it
Very
has
much
more
so.
value to it than it originally did because now it's worth the labor of taking it apart, taking all the stuff out of it, reusing that and everything too. So, I mean, there's kinds of good and bad aspects to it. But like you were talking about before, is that the hardest place to be is in that left behind type of position where just like now the buy-in to convert what you've made out of your labor is not going to equate to what it would have been if you would have done that move 5 years ago.
100%.
Yeah, and especially if you put it into investments, where just like I think what the average return on the stock market is 4 to 7%. It's not high, unless you're a member of Congress, then it's almost a guarantee that you'll make fucking money somehow.
Nancy Pelosi.
I was just gonna say, if your name's Pelosi, you're in the clear.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
she
yeah,
did better than every single Wall Street guy out there, so she's doing something right.
Yeah. My favorite
you know what it is?
Was,
you know what it
that
is?
Dude, Jim Cramer, that does like the stock and investment show. That if you do the opposite of what Jim Cramer recommends, you're almost guaranteed to make money.
Yeah. Is that still true?
Yeah, it's like 60% of the time. Like you can make money if you do the opposite of his recommendations.
Yep.
You know my theory on Pelosi is
so logical too. You're like, yeah, I'll invest in it. You're like, I lost all my money. Like,
Pelosi got like a fucking Madam Cleo type bitch on her payroll.
And
like somehow she don't know anything else. This one, she couldn't fucking tell you what Eaton Park soup to the day is going to be tomorrow.
No.
But she can tell you the stock market.
Yeah.
And that's why she's on Pelosi's payroll.
Well,
God enough for you not free reading.
Isn't she like the heiress for like the Dole pineapple company or something like that? I may be conflating with another brand, but like that's how her family made their money is like through pineapple stuff. Because I listened to a dude for a while where his nickname for her was the Pineapple Princess, and it was because like that's how her family came up. Like she was already part of that like old money, old industrialist type of family and stuff. Yeah. So she was already in, and like on all that stuff, the way that those guys maintain their power over the generations is through that type of insider trading bullshit.
Do you know who her
always?
Do you know her father was connected, right?
Mm-hmm. Was he?
Oh yeah, he was a connected guy. Nancy Pelosi's father, absolutely.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah. So the fact that you're saying Dole and all this other stuff. Dole pineapple, I think that's linked to like slaves and slavery and plantations and stuff like that because a lot of these places
wouldn't surprise me.
Colonized. So that's some crazy fucking history out there, huh? I mean, if that's true or not, I don't know. So I'd like to look this up. Okay, so her father was a Democratic politician from Baltimore, served 5 terms in the U.S. House of Reps between 1939 and 47. Mayor of Baltimore for 12 years. Let's see. Nothing specific. Nothing specific. I think he was. What the fuck? Why is this not there? He was always a connected guy, though. What was this?
I see. That's something I had no idea. But again, do I look surprised?
Yeah, they don't talk about that a lot in the campaign commercials, and also because that lovely portrait behind you there, Primo, is the mob connections as well. Because Baltimore, back in the day, especially too,
Baltimore got a history.
Yeah. Okay. So Benjamin Benny Trotta Magliano. That was, and the FBI contained allegations that he was a constant companion of this guy, Benny Trotta Magliano, a known Baltimore underworld figure during the 1950s. So you guys called it right on the nub,
Yeah.
I mean, the mob and politicians.
All it means is it's just part of power, and this just how this works. While these allegations exist,
fucking ebony and ivory, bro. Ebony and ivory. It's you need one to have the other. You know what I mean?
And there's no record of him being indicted or convicted of mob-related crimes. Fair enough. But some sources' online discussions highlight these alleged ties as part of his backdrop of his, consequently, his daughter's political upbringing of Baltimore's Little Italy. And I would figure, you probably brush shoulders with a lot of very powerful people. So that's probably what it is. I don't think he did anything, harmful or anything like that. It's just
but I mean, at the end of the day, here's the thing.
Yeah.
How old are all of us here? Well, we're never going to know. We weren't there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can speculate all you want, but, I mean, unless there was a recording, somebody had a bug in a room or something, we're not going to know.
Well, this is interesting. This is from Michael Francis. Now, a year ago, this is a YouTube video, actually. Pelosi's father was mobbed up in Boston, no question about it, 100%. There's no, I mean, the evidence is strong there. So this is what I'm just seeing.
And that's coming from Michael Francis, who's, I mean, if you know the history, then you know who he is. He was a very, very prominent guy in New York in the 80s. Yeah.
See him right there?
And honestly, he's one of the guys, like I've I always had a lot of respect for him. He never really, he didn't.
No question about it, 100%. There's no, I mean, the evidence is strong there. That's how he stayed in office, became the mayor, the whole bit. I mean,
courtesy of you,
there's connections. So Pelosi was around Nancy at that time, and she learned from that. She grew up in it. She lived that part of it. And you can see it in her mannerisms and the way she acts. And look, Nancy Pelosi has made hundreds of millions of dollars by insider trading, something that you or we go to jail for, and everybody else. She squashed bills that Congress tried to put forth to stop insider trading among Congress and the family. She's the one that squashed it because she made hundreds of millions of dollars. She made her husband wealthy, and of course, in 2020 or 2022, their trades beat the S&P by 15%, making them the most brilliant traders, stock traders in the country.
Fantastic to see.
There
is so silly. Holy
I mean, like everything we just said, right there. I mean, what the fuck more do you want?
What do you want from us? Yeah, legit.
The current shadow government, it's not necessarily like the guys that were running the streets back then. Now it's the intelligence agencies. When you talk about companies like, the pineapple companies and such like that, the reason why you have the term such as Banana Republic is because of the wars that were kind of enacted after the intrusions of the U.S. and other intelligence agencies in Central America and South America. So, no doubt, her connects are probably deep into that too. With having not just the insider information, but intelligence kind of works with privatization in knowing that something's about to be released, something's about to go down, that this market's about to be affected. So like the advanced knowledge and where it comes from with her, probably those roots as well go really deep too. And no doubt the intelligence agencies as well worked with the mafia types, both in that era
100%.
and all the way until current. Because they always utilize black markets. You know, that's how they hide what they do. You know, that's how they keep their stuff covert, is because they know how to utilize any, and they create black markets too, in the drug war and other stuff like that as well.
Some things never change.
Exactly.
Some things never change. I'll just leave it. I mean, if you know, you know. If you've been in New York,
hey, the millionaires of one AD are the billionaires, trillionaires of you figure, right? If they did things right.
I mean, it's
if they did.
And like you said, you know, like just like Francis said, you know, look at, because of those connections, and I mean, I salute to them. They succeeded. They got one of theirs in Congress. You know, they always wanted to do. I always wanted to get one of their own, and hey, I salute. You did it. You know, it took you long enough. You did it, but
Yeah.
Unless you have those kind of, you know, as Tony Soprano put it, you know, unless you got those kind of Enron connections, we're not going to make this shit happen. You know,
well,
you
especially
really
when you're dealing
need,
like with a family that makes its money off of international imports and exports, right? So like you don't have your own service or private army to serve you and your interests abroad. So you have to rely on other entities to do that. So therefore,
precisely.
you'll work with, you know, the intelligence agencies who will work with the local mafias or rebel groups or whatever the fuck internationally to sort of, you know, make sure that your business keeps flowing. And then you kind of, because they're working for you, you pay them off in various ways. You know, it could be favors, it could be anything.
Right.
You know, so that's why they want the people from those types of families to be in political power, because that can also be utilized to pass bills, pass budgets, especially because that's always something that gets lost in the mix when it comes to anything that's going on in the world. Is that people really don't follow the money as they should, or even pay attention to the financial crimes of those people. They follow all the other more salacious and, you know, easier to follow, you know, frankly, you know, types of crimes that they could do.
I mean, that's always the way it is. You know what I mean? That, you know, it's one of those where, like, if you know, you know. You know, if you take the time to do the research, I mean, the way that so many of these groups around the world historically have made their money has been through the black market.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. I mean, and then here's the thing. This could be something as benign as that fake Louis bag that you bought in Times Square.
Yeah.
And it could be something as,
you know, even something like that. Like the fact
you
that they
never
can
know.
keep it illegal, something as just as simple and innocuous as that they can keep illegal, makes it more easy to be exploited in any way. And then through the regulation of the politicians, what they lay down, like going, especially with the drug war, is that that's what created the black economy. You know, that's what gives that black budget for the intelligence agencies to work with through Iran-Contra and other stuff like that too. And what we're seeing modern times from Venezuela, the whole pretext for that bullshit with Maduro of just like, oh, these are the drug boats, and never having any physical evidence or anything presented to the American public or the rest of the world about where the drugs are actually coming from, which is, you know, mostly funneled through the Pacific and Mexico, and not from that area at all. And just like this, but the stuff that did is the stuff where the intelligence agencies were working with Venezuela to make money off of the drug trade of bringing that stuff in. You know, so I mean, by keeping things illegal, you keep them exploitable. You keep them exploitable by the people in power and the people that they serve. And it ain't us.
And that's a good point, and that segues into one of our favorite subjects on this show, in which thank the gods and goddesses that be. So much of the U.S. has, just, I don't know how else to put it, gotten smart. You know what I mean? On so many levels, however you want to take that. I mean, for me, I mean it on every level, medicinal, recreational, everything, just because, hey, the old joke, would you rather be in a room with 100 drunks or 100 stoners?
Yeah.
Trust me, you want the stoners. We got better munchies.
Well, it all goes back to Citizen Kane, man. The guy that was William Randolph Hearst, the guy who the term yellow journalism comes from in the Spanish War. He utilized the demonization of marijuana in order to redistrict, gerrymander voting in the South, because the amount of Mexican people that smoked and cultivated, hemp, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. That term, even marijuana, was kind of an invention in order to demonize it too. It took it from something, cannabis or hemp and other things like that were common. And the government used to pay people to raise hemp, especially in the Carolinas and stuff like that. And then
you used to get fined if you didn't have it on your property. There was a point where you get in Washington's administration, George Washington, if you did not, if I recall reading correctly, if you did not have at least 6 hemp plants on your property, you were subject to a potential fine. So,
and it's because it was such an important crop to have, because of the amount of textiles and ropes and other things like that, military stuff that was utilized from that, and just daily living things that could have been utilized from that.
And that's one thing, that was one of the subjects we actually had touched on the other day on here, Mike, was that the, Anslinger, the DEA and everything, and the whole drug war, et cetera, and all of the shit that came out of that. I mean, you actually, not you, obviously, when that law and all those things that came of that were enacted, they eliminated cultures of, that had, generations of tradition for, and what we were specifically talking about in that, particular one was Nepal and their tradition of temple ball hash making that goes back centuries. And that was all put to an end, essentially, officially, and I believe it was 74, because of pressure from the UN, which was from pressure from the US, because
the US funds the UN essentially,
and they wanted cannabis to be illegal all across the globe. Essentially, that was the goal, and it's so interesting, the areas that it completely took hold in versus the areas that it was like, oh yeah, no, we don't want that here.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't want you. No, here, just blow it out the window. Yeah. I mean, literally, that I just described the whole north of India and a lot of Nepal, especially one day of the year. And that day would be what we call Mahashivratri, which, by the way, bro, it's Sunday into Monday this weekend. So we should try to go to the temple, because we're Hindus and not Hindons.
Yes, he talked to us about this Hindons, this guy.
So, be a Hindu, not a Hindon. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But they,
for our viewers here.
Yeah, I have a really, really important piece of advice. Don't over smoke. Know your limits. We're not all the same. Yep.
Yeah, I've met my match on many occasions, where it's just like, I'm going to be straight with this. Half hour later, zonked out. Like Satch was talking about with the White Widow stuff. It's like, I don't know how people could do this and stay awake, because I just, whatever it is, like I'm out.
I think we've all had a moment with edibles like that.
Oh, God.
Everybody's had a moment, and it's one of those. I forget which comedian was like, "Don't talk shit on the edibles, bro." Because like, you look at them, you're like, "This fucking bitch at 20 mil. I'm gonna eat 2 more of these bitches. Fuck this shit, man. I'm gonna roll me up some." 25 minutes later.
I had 0.3 grams of Rick Simpson oil once because I was like, nothing. Yeah, and then so it must have 0.4 in total about.
Can I tell them what you said to me when you called me?
No, what did I say? What did I say?
You don't even remember.
No,
I will never forget that because I heard.
That's what I do. When I get too high, I go and take a hot shower.
Yeah, you called me after that.
Oh yeah.
And you still, and I to this day have never heard these words come out of my bro's mouth before, since, and I hope never again.
What did I say?
Bro, I think I did too much weed, bro.
I think I did too much weed.
That is exactly what you said. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there. Here's me, like legit. Like let me actually reenact it for our viewers here. I'm going to show you exactly what was going on when I got that call.
You dropped your ball.
Like, no. Like I literally. So I'm sitting here. I just got done packing it up as such. And then the. Admittedly, it was just an excuse for me to take it. And the call comes in, and I'm like, hello? Because I'm looking at the time. I'm like, it's in the middle of the afternoon. What the fuck? Hello?
Middle of the afternoon. Was it?
Because it was a Saturday. I was off.
Oh, okay.
And normally, our schedules don't align on Saturdays. So that's why I'm like, what the fuck? And then I hear my bro, I did too much weed, bro. And I had to look at the phone like, no, it is that's such. Go outside looking for cats and dogs coming down from the sky, like, okay,
that was a lot. It really was.
This isn't normal. Something's wrong. Jupiter must be in the Gatorade or something.
So I am aware that a lot of people have a schizophrenic type of reaction to cannabis, and where it's it gives you that paranoia, right? And I luckily I never really experienced that in any of my other journeys with that. But one time in taking it was sort of when I was first getting used to taking them was some sativa edibles. And I remember it hitting me so hard. I went to see a movie and the previews are playing and they're blasting you with the music.
You're just, it's too much. So it's just too much. Yep.
And I was after the movie, I'm sitting in my car getting ready to drive home, and it wasn't even a long drive, but I was nervous. I'm sitting there holding the wheel, just thinking about all the stuff that could happen if I pull out of this parking spot. And just man, I just I actually felt that type of paranoia for the first time, really.
So if I may ask you a personal question, do you have anxiety?
Not really. I'm the type of person where in my life experiences, I've spent a lot of time on stage in front of other people performing music and things like that. There's a part of your brain called the amygdala. And when I found out more about it watching a documentary about this dude named Alex Honnold, who's a world-class climber. He's the one that just climbed that tower. I forget where the hell it was overseas. It was it was just on Netflix. It's set a world record of him climbing this tower, free solo too. No ropes, no suction cup bullshit. It was just him climbing this giant ass skyscraper, right? But they did a scan of his brain activity, and that part of your brain that registers danger and gives you that heightened sense, panic or whatever it is, his just didn't fire. And I think like through some of the experiences that I've had, just like in life, that just doesn't really hit me as much. I'm not really that much of a stoic, and it's not like I really try about it. It's just sort of like something where like stuff would happen. I'll just be like, you know, like I don't really get panicked about shit. I don't.
No, I definitely. And the reason I was asking is because, so for instance, which something I've talked about on the channel here, our viewers know, I do have anxiety.
Okay.
That's one of the things I use cannabis for, specific strains. Two that I have on hand right now, Gogurtz and Rollie Drip. Again, I had a panic attack the other morning. 2 bong hits of Rollie Drip. Within 5 minutes, I was good to carry on about my day. It's an amazing thing. But in my experience, sativas are few and far between the ones that I can actually smoke, because not only do they have a tendency of setting off anxiety, even if you don't have it, they do have a higher tendency than a hybrid or an indica leaning hybrid, or especially an indica, of giving you that, as we've all heard, that you get noited, man.
Yeah.
And
you live this too.
Please.
Because you said, kind of like you have anxiety, I have like ADHD, so I need to focus. So a lot of bud I go for like the citrusy type buds, lemonine heavy. So some of my most favorite buds are strain wise, it'd be like Trop Cherry Gas and Super Boof. Super Boof was my favorite one, done by Blockhead Buds. And this guy totally hated it. I loved Halle Berry. It was one of the first strains that I was able to like put together.
Great seller. I mean, performed well in the market.
Color. It smelled like
beautiful plant, but
and you can tell across the strains there was, you could tell the genetics were from that breeder. So as like a end user,
I'm actually giving it 3 thumbs down if you catch my drift.
Blockhead Buds, being an expert, he really connected with the consumer. He did it right. So for me, that's like my medicine that works for me. Whereas this guy up there, it doesn't work for him. He hates it, and and it gets him the same way you were describing. Irritable, anxious, and then
you don't want me on sativa. You don't want to. I don't want to be around me on sativa.
That gets me focused. It's just fucking funny.
Now, see, if I need to be focused, for me, like a really evenly balanced hybrid.
Yeah.
And again, that can go. I mean, it just depends, because every phenotype, and this is another thing, every phenotype, even of the same strain, is going to be different. For instance,
the other day, remember that?
Dude, legit, we were talking about this the day before we did this, the New York Cannabis Cup reviews. Okay. And we were talking about how it was a sativa, it gets you chatty, and you're a real get on off this shit. You won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
We see it on the indica list.
Well, it didn't even say indica list, it said nighttime.
Or nighttime. Sorry.
Between sativa and indica, and they're starting to go, well, it's really for growers just to know the actual structure of the bud. It really doesn't affect anything. It's more about terpenes. That's it. They completely are now starting to ignore the THC percentage. But I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, again, that also is something we've touched into, where yes,
that really good bud has very high THC percentage. So
exactly, yes, you will usually find one with the other. However, for people out there, like I have friends, unfortunately, despite knowing me and trying to explain and pray to gods and do everything but sacrifice a Vestal fucking virgin, because, well, it's 2026. And anyhow, if it's not 30%, I'm not even looking at it. Dude, you just fucking eliminated so much of the taste rainbow out there because I've had, and I think even you know, Mike, you from what I've taught, you seem to be an experienced smoker.
Yeah.
There's so much out there. It doesn't have to be 30%. You could have one that's a 28 that's just going to be so fucking amazing and give you such a great feel. You remember, I don't give a fuck. This is great, and I want more of it.
And it's a mental trick too. Like there's something about crossing like a certain threshold. Like it's like that monetarily too. That's why like companies like they market stuff, but they don't market it as $10. They market it as $9.99 because seeing it as $10 makes it too expensive in your brain. So like when people 100%. See it's over 30%, I was like, oh, this is the better stuff, and the other stuff that isn't. Like I'm not even going to look at that tray of options.
And that's another thing that a lot of people don't, I don't think they might even realize, like, if you've seen any of the dispo labels, okay, and you'll see on a lot of them, sometimes they'll say, whatever, Bingity Bong strain, 32%. And then, I'm just making it up because I don't want to get,
We gotta patent that shit. Bingity Bong.
That ain't actually a bad one. Maybe we'll tell our boy about that, over Project Gus here. Make one called Bingity Bong.
Bingity Bong. So it tastes like rainbow.
But so, it's 32%. And then in parentheses, you'll see plus or minus 10% of total. Now, again, people look at that and they're like, oh, so you're telling me that this shit could be 22, percent, or no. It is 10% of the total. So if you have 32%, 10% of that is 3.2, which means that your bud is either 26.8 or it's the,
Yeah, there's got to be a sweep on that because even in the cultivation and like packaging manufacturing process, like how much you're gaining or losing.
My math might have been off. I'm a little high.
It's like I don't. When I saw those percentages, like some of the modern percentages I've seen that the advertising like 35% higher and those such things, I'm thinking to myself like, how accurate is that? Like, how do they even gauge or test that sort of thing per batch and what actually gets sent to you, or do they measure it when it's like on the plant before cultivation or afterwards after it's handled? Like how much do you lose in certain process and how much degrades over time as the product sort of decomposes?
And that's the other thing is that some of the bags that they have, some of the baggies, and I'm going to try to answer, and please, if there's something I'm missing, please chime in, bro. So from my knowledge, a lot of the bags actually are crafted in such a way that they will help the buds cure as they're on the shelf. Okay. So in theory, even if they did harvest it, trim it, and then cure it, whether that be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, however long they take, and then package it, and before packaging it, test it, that might not even be an accurate thing, because if that's sitting on the dispo shelf that you go to and it's sitting there for 4 or 5 weeks, it's going to get a little stronger.
Wow.
And it's just that, as it cures,
it's almost like a fermentation process, really.
Very, very similar. Yeah. So that's a factor in it. And, again, this also goes into, as far as how indicative are terpenes. I think they play a huge role in the bud. I mean, that's obviously what entices you the first time when you smell it. That's what you're smelling. That's what's bringing you in. That's the salesman at the door getting you in the store. And, so that being said, for those who are able and lucky enough that you can go and dispo and like in Michigan, buy deli style where hey, let me take a look at that jar of OG Kush, and they open it up and you stick it. Okay, that's the best way, because who knows, and this is something we preach here on this channel, who knows better than you what you like. Now, as you just saw, here's my boy, my brother from another mother, talking about how he loved that super booth. And I'm sitting here trying to fucking hold my goddamn dinner down, not going for a Tums.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was fun to discover that he hated it. I love that process. Yeah, just roll a big one up. Here you go, prep, try some. Oh, I hate it. It was so funny finding out that he hated it. Because he looked at it, it's all purple. He's like, okay, he was excited.
Oh, this guy's had me a couple times. We're not going to get into exactly what, but suffice to say, my introduction to a volcano was beautiful in the beginning, but the ending was you fucking.
That's so funny. That or like introducing him to infused joints. Infused joints really have some real flavor to them. And
this dude has been ahead of the curve, people. I just want to say this. Hand to God.
5 years ago. 6 years ago. This is in 2020. 6. Yes, this is 2020. Yeah. No.
Yes, wait. No, it wasn't, bro, because I'd already broken up with the last one. So it was 2021.
Okay. All right. So 5 years ago.
I remember that.
All right.
Go figure. Ironically, the day I left the ex Cinco de Mayo. Hey, I'm brown too. Place! You know? So, but no, so
stuck it in there.
He was doing infused. He was doing infused J's.
Yeah,
listen to this shit, bro. This dude 5 years ago was doing infused J's that would fucking floor an elephant. All right, so if I recall correctly, because I know what the event was, but if I recall correctly, it was a birthday gift he received from his family to do the race car driver for a day thing. If you ever heard of that, you go to the racetrack with the, and it was cool as shit. Like, I just went for a ride along. He did the actual driving, obviously. And you'll know why in a minute. So he comes to pick me up. I get in the car, we get on the highway, and he's like, hey, bro, you want to smoke a J? My fucking brown? Of course I want to smoke a J. Wake me up in the middle of the goddamn night. Oh, what's up? You want to smoke? Oh, yeah. You seen how high? Red man, right here.
Yeah.
You can blare that fucking Ram sign. I ain't moving. You like that L? Hey. Yeah, no. But anyway, so I get in the car. He give me the joint. I finally like the joint.
Oh, it tastes so good. Yeah. Try some more. Go ahead.
Hey, yo, bro, this is some fucking fire ass shit, homie. What strain is this?
I know. And then you were so baked, you broke out in an Indian accent. Like, what is this? I'm like, Reb?
Yeah, like literally just slipped out, Like, hey, what is this shit, yeah? What is this? Ekdam number one. First class.
Have a bottle of water here, bud. Here, relax.
And I'm like, so what strain is this? And he's like, oh, it's fucking OG Kush with this sugar and some bubble hash. All when we smoked out the window.
All of a sudden, you're Big Lebowski in it, and you're just like Supermaning.
Bro, I like the only. No, it was funny because legit, as soon as he told me all that, the only thought that went through my mind, legit, and I don't know if I ever told you this, Saj. When you got done telling me all that shit, there was only one thought that went through my mind. I'm gonna need a lot of water.
I'm gonna need a lot of
water, and some Funyuns.
Yeah.
Blazing hot because brown.
They got hot Funyuns. I didn't know that.
Bro, you what?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Listen, okay, yes, I know they're horrible and they probably got fucking goddamn chemicals in there that could fuel a fucking rocket ship. Well, let me tell you something. When you are 3 joints of fucking Gogurtz down the night, they taste fire as fuck with some nacho cheese, my dude. Oh my God. Just saying. Not that I feel strongly about it or anything. I'm completely unbiased.
True. No, you're all about Del Taco.
Why'd you have to bring up Del Taco in this, bro?
Okay,
Why'd you have to bring Del Taco into this? Like, now I want a fucking cheeseburger, 2 tacos, and some nachos for no goddamn reason.
You can do that. You probably order Uber Eats it.
Del Taco is the best thing. For those of you who don't know what Del Taco is, allow me to describe it in the most best way that will just explain everything to you. Imagine, if you will, if Burger King and Taco Bell were a man and a woman.
Okay.
And they got together and did the horizontal limbo. And the love child that was produced therein ended up being better than either one of its parents and its best dreams could ever be. That, my dear friends, is Del Taco.
And they're open late, too. That's the other thing I noticed about
24 hours, baby.
Yeah.
You could get the munchies at 4:20 p.m. or a.m. They got you covered.
You're set.
That's
America.
Only other place I know like that was in my, one of my various old neighborhoods, because I've been all over the place. But Queens, New York, shout out to Kebab King, 37th and 73rd. I hope you guys are still open 24 hours a day, and if you're going there, might I suggest getting a chicken sikh kebab, halwa puri, and a nice cup of hot Indian chai.
Oh, yeah.
It don't matter what fucking time it is. Oh, God, man. You're going to get this beautiful fried bread. You're going to get chickpeas and potatoes and the most amazing sauce you've ever fucking had in your life. And cream of wheat in the best way you've ever had in your life. And a chicken kebab.
Oh, nice.
Only thing you need after that, and you know exactly what I'm about to say, Sach. There's only one thing you need after that. You need to walk down the street. You need to go to a little shop. Bro. Little delicacy we call pan. It's a leaf from a betel nut tree that has sweetened rose petals and all kinds of, it's an after dinner type of thing,
I have not met one Caucasian person with that likes pie.
I knew one.
Loves the way
I knew one.
But
I knew one.
Hates the way
my ex-wife. I will give her credit there.
Really?
She really did enjoy pan. Anytime we went when I was in Cali and we go to Artesia,
I've never.
If I wanted to,
and they're like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "I fucking love it. Leave me alone."
You want to know what the crazy thing? We don't know what's the other thing that she liked. The pan bahar, the pan parag, the actual betel nut with the spices on it that we chew is like a kind of keep you awake type thing.
Yeah.
She liked to put that as like a dip while she was smoking a hookah with me, the same like I used to do.
I thought you were gonna say something really nasty. Like, yeah, she put it in her mouth, but she was smoking a hookah with me.
My God, what kind of gutter is your mind in, my friend?
That's what it looked like.
We don't do these things in public.
In our culture,
दरवाजे से बंद कर दे सब कुछ हो जाएगा. Behind a closed door, we don't. What happens in home, stay at home.
So you're saying the bond's kind of like a stimulant, deal, kind of like a coca leaf in the lip, if you're down in the Andes walking around.
Yes and no, not that strong.
Okay.
More akin to I would say like a cup of coffee.
Bottle nuts. Nuts.
Yeah. Like for instance,
they're very hard. It's like chewing very.
There's a way to eat them. Yeah, there's a way to eat them.
It's disgusting. Well, for me, I mean, it breaks down by saliva, so you can imagine it's in the side of your mouth and there's recirculating.
Yeah, I used to chew snuff. I used to do.
Nuts?
Yeah.
No, I used to dip. I used to dip. I used to dip Skull. I used to do the Pan. I used to do the stuff called Gutka. There's the betel nut mixed with tobacco. I am not an example of good health, people. I'm just saying. There, you want proof that the gods and goddesses exist? I'm still alive. I hear you.
Well, like nicotine itself is kind of in a resurgence. Like even in health circles, they're saying that now they're calling it a nootropic. You know, they're labeling it with that type of term now. I wonder, has anyone tried to do like what you're talking about there, sort of in like a pouch or like those types of applications now that you see that are just, you know, I can't really go anywhere now without running into dudes that are putting those little zins in their mouth and stuff like that.
The one thing I wish would happen, what I would love to see, and Stotch himself is a perfect example and can attest to this. Yeah. As you've seen, he, you know, lovingly as a brother teases me about quitting smoking cigarettes, which I do need to do. I know it's in process.
The proper way to smoke them is to light them and throw them in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there. We're working. But that being said, he doesn't like the smell of the majority of American, actually all American cigarettes. However, and as we all know, the American cigarettes have a lot of stuff added into them.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not the tobacco, it's all the additives, man.
When I had a friend of mine bring me cigarettes from Canada, which apparently a few years ago, they passed a law that all the tobacco has to be natural. The cigarette packs cannot have any branding colors. So they come in a brown box that has a series of the, you know, the lungs and the you know, fetus and all that's it. You know, why you should quit smoking. It has literally like warnings written on the filter of each cigarette. No branding. However, you want to ask me how I know that tobacco is pure? Because that man right there was sitting in the same room as me, and I was on my second cigarette, and he didn't even realize that I'd smoked one.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't bother him.
How easy is it to grow? Like is a betel nut? Is that what you said?
It's a betel nut. It's a very, like, to the best of my knowledge, they do grow it in other countries other than India. Mm-hmm. If I recall correctly, like if we go to the Indian store and we wanted to buy the actual leaves, those leaves will not be coming from India. Rather, they'll be coming from Hawaii, or I want to say either Hawaii or Dominican Republic. One of the islands. You need that tropical climate to grow that tree. You know, I mean, even in India, it doesn't grow in every part of India. It's only in some areas that you're going to find it. You know.
Well, I know Dominican's a banging ass spot to grow great cigar tobacco. Like some of the best cigars I've ever tasted have been like Dominican.
We are huge cigars.
From Cuba and then planted in Dominica.
Opus X is probably one of my favorites by Fuente. Anything in the Opus X line, as you had just stated, those have beat the fuck in tasting tests out of so many Cubans. Yeah, listen. Honestly, people, my humble submission. The only reason that the majority of Cubans are so goddamn popular is the same. If you can't get them, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm smoking a Cuban. Oh,
it's like this. The scarcity creates the interest.
Are you though? Yeah, and then here's the thing. Are you though? Because let me tell you, if you're not a cigar smoker,
there's a lot of Ligero in those, man. That's a hefty flavor profile, and if you have the average American palate of just sweetness and salt,
too much.
Like, you're not going to be fucking ready for that shit. You're not.
And the other thing is if you don't know what you're looking for, and you know some unscrupulous guy out there decides to get some top notch, I mean, not bullshit, you know, top notch, like just off the top of my head, like let's say a guy decided, since you know cigars, Let's say a guy decided to get a bunch of Rocky Patel edges.
Okay.
Take the edge thing off the bottom and just slap a fucking Monte Cristo #2 sticker on there. How fuck you gonna know?
Yeah.
It's still a Pyramides. You're gonna
like
look at the picture.
The Rocky Patel vintage 92s. Those were always my favorite.
Those are very nice.
Pressed ones. I fucking love those.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of flavored cigars normally, but I really did enjoy the Rocky Patel Java.
Okay, yeah.
That was a very nice cigar to have with pretty much any cup of coffee. That was a
Dominican
perfect.
seed ones that I got way back in the day that blew me away were the Don Pepin.
Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah. I think they're a Miami company, but they get their stuff from Dominica, and it's like Cuban seed cultivated in Dominica. So it's just, fantastic.
I mean, I've smoked so much different stuff. Obviously, the Rocky Patels. My brother has picked out some amazing Rumio Colietas for me over the years.
Yeah.
There's a lot, but I will say this: my first cigar that I ever smoked was an Arturo Fuente Chateau Fuente Colorado wrapper. Promptly thereafter, the same cigar shop, I went back to get another one because I liked it so much. But I noticed, and again, this was me many, many moons ago, getting educated on the cigar world.
Yeah.
Looked the same, but it had a darker wrapper. So I inquired, this is a Maduro. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a stronger. Oh, let me and I fell in love. That was the day I found out I'm a Maduro smoker. I will smoke other things and enjoy them, but my heart, good God, and especially that one, Chateau Fuente, Double Fuente, the Robusto, Maduro wrapper, that double Johnny Walker Black on the rocks. Forget about it.
Yeah, some scotch like that.
Forget about it. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, I was fortunate.
If you really want to go top notch, then maybe a little, nice company for the evening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to visit once the Arturo Fuente Cigar Bar out in Vegas. I had a blast.
Nice.
And along with because I've always been I started off smoking cigars way back. My dad introduced me to them as Macanudo Robustos. And we used to get the little tins of those. Like my friends and I would smoke those, sit around, have a couple drinks and whatever. And but out there, the Scotch pairing that I had was with a Glenlivet 15-year French oak age.
I've had that, and that is a phenomenal
smoky,
Scotch.
Beautiful smoothness to it.
Beautiful finish. Beautiful finish.
It was
that oak gave it that slight sherry vibe to it.
Yes.
But not overdoing it.
Because some of the Glenlivet, the 12-year, it tastes like pineapple juice. It's like doing kamikazes and shit. It has a weird sweet to it.
I couldn't agree more. Honest to God, if you're talking about 12-year-olds specifically, okay, if we're gonna go by year, we're talking 12-year-olds specifically, which to me, my starting. If it's below, I am probably not going to enjoy it. Black Label was my first alcoholic drink in my life.
Okay.
Before beer, before wine. I am a Punjabi. My first drink was Black Label, and I'm very proud of that. Still my favorite. And honestly, there's a reason it's so popular in the world. It is a great, however you like your Scotch, Black Label got you covered. You like it with club soda, like my dad did. God rest his soul. Beautiful. You'll still taste the Scotch through it. It's perfect. You're a Manhattan drinker. Got you covered. Beautiful in a Manhattan. Beautiful in a Rob Roy. Rusty Nail. Fucking amazing.
I think the club soda with it's kind of brilliant because with that effervescence, the bubbliness would kind of aerate it too. So it kind of brings out more of the flavor along with it.
That is the traditional Indian way of drinking it, honestly, as far as every Indian I've ever encountered in my life. They like, rocks with club soda. And my dad was very particular. You know, like when it came to his beverages, like from the day I was crawling on the floor till the day that man left this realm, he wanted a coffee, black, 3 sugars. You will never see that man with even a drop out of the cow's teat in his fucking coffee. You ain't seen him drinking a cappuccino. You're not seeing him drink a fucking latte. However, try to offer that man a cup of like Starbucks chai, and I'm just gonna pull up a chair, grab a box of popcorn, and just watch him look at you first for a good 20 seconds like this.
Yeah.
Then the first thing out of his mouth is gonna be like, I really appreciate the effort. But first I have a question. When is the last time you got your eyes examined?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not see I'm an Indian man? Why the hell you would bring this thing? They don't even put the cardamom in it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But yeah, he'd never drink tea without. But when it came to his scotch, rocks glass, never a highball glass, always a rocks glass, 3 big ice cubes, 1 shot of scotch, rest with club soda to the appropriate level.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, especially like with the tastings that you all do, have you noticed throughout the years that your palate has changed? Because I've noticed in my life too, where I used to like sweet stuff. I used to be really into craft beers, so I started out drinking like the Gogurtz and the Belgian lambics, like the Lindemans Fremoise, and then I went from that stuff to drinking the IPAs. Like, I hit a point where I was like around 25, I think, of age, and then it just like sort of the bitterness and that sort of thing kind of crept on my palate. Like it started to be more dominant.
For me personally, I would say the only difference, I was always very particular in what I drank, even when I was younger. For instance, I was never a vodka drinker. Yeah. Never sat well with me. Just that was not something. I was never a gin drinker.
So I respect everybody. Gin over vodka any day. Back when I used to drink, like I was a
to me that smelled like a bottle. To me, that smelled like a bottle of cologne. Look, I'm like,
juniper berries, man. That piney,
because I like that in my cologne. I love juniper berries in a lot of my cologne. Yeah. So I'm like, I can't fucking do this shit, bro. I'm not drinking my cologne. I can't do this. Yeah. So gin, vodka, hell no. I always like tequila, especially if it's good tequila with good Mexican beer. Fuck yeah, bro. But again, I don't even eat as much. I first off don't drink a whole hell of a lot at this point anymore. And when I do, I've noticed that the times that I find myself really wanting to enjoy a certain type of alcohol have been whenever me and my bro end up going out for Japanese food.
Oh,
sake. I have developed a taste for sake in my older years, and specifically, I prefer chilled sake. He knows the type that I like.
Sake.
Snow Angel, you got to try it. Oh my god!
Yeah.
We went to an izakaya style place, and
it's like
with
fruity,
all the, it's
nice
so perfect. Sake. It just complements everything so nicely. I mean, you really
you can have too much too. Believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, you can.
I used to think you couldn't. You can. It's possible.
I went there once with sake. Yeah, that was a bad decision. But I found out though after a while that the reason why the warm sakes that they serve aren't the good sakes typically. Like that's sort of like the bottom shelf stuff, and then the stuff that you'll get room temp or just slightly chilled is the better. Of the choices there, so the more refined ones. But
I mean that makes total sense. Why? I mean, because like the first time that we were out, and a friend of ours, he was like, "No, I ain't." So I'm like, "Okay, it's a shot." Like, all right, I'm like, "Oh, I really like that."
Mm-hmm.
That tastes great with this food. Holy shit! And that was it. But on the whole, no, my palate is pretty. I mean, for me personally, I've always been one of those very consistent.
Okay.
You know, kind of like if you're familiar with Cat Williams' comedy.
Yeah.
You know, if a homie drinks Hennessy on Monday, he's gonna drink. He does not change his drink. That's me, man. Like I get the same. You know, we go to places. You know, like if we go to a Yemeni style coffee shop, he already knows what I'm getting. Like I can just tell him, like, just give me one and
Have you tried a mufawar, Mike?
The mufawar. It's a Yemeni style. Basically, it's a Yemeni style latte with cardamom.
He's got to try, because the Italian style of like coffee and stuff. We know all of that. We know a little bit about the Turkish style with like a Turkish coffee. Yemenis coffee is really something. They mix
it's heaven in a cup. It's heaven in a cup.
Things like that along into your coffee, and it's like delicious. It's so good. Love it.
Yeah, I'm a drinking it black type of cat. I really like the darker roast. I find like with my stomach too, like the lower acidity that you'll find in the darker roasts, like especially like a French roast, like a real smoky flavored, like campfire-y French roast. Like that's some shit for me. But I do like when it comes on the sweet side of things. I do like the Vietnamese coffees. With the powdered milk and everything, like there's just something magical about it. I've never used powdered milk and shit, never buy it, never care about it. But like this, in that concoction, it's just, there's something magical, man.
No, they definitely, I mean, and that's kind of the really cool thing with the majority of the Yemeni coffee places is that's just one of their drinks. So they have different styles. Like the one style of coffee that my bro likes is called Jabani, where it has the coffee bean and the husks in it as well. So you get a whole other kind of flavor profile, and you can get
like
that
matcha tea where it has the chunks in it. Like those the greens just floating in there, bottom. Loose leaf.
Well, the husk has to settle in your coffee. So it goes to the bottom, so you're not really like consuming it.
Yeah,
and the husk isn't like coffee husk. What is it? What husk?
No, it is a coffee husk.
It's a coffee husk?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yep, they use the whole bean for that. They don't take the covering out.
Wow.
So that's how it has that. It's a little bit more of a earthy, it has a very unique flavor to it. It's freaking amazing. I mean, I've yet to encounter a Yemeni style of coffee that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I mean, even, okay, if you're not a coffee drinker, let's say that you like teas and everything, they have their version, what they call Adani chai.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, you got two Punjabis on here. I can tell you in Punjabi, I can tell you in English, we'll just tell you in English so that everybody understands that their Yemeni Adani chai is the same exact, it is their version, their iteration of our masala chai. And it is equally as good. Equally as good. Like as an Indian, if I'm in a place and I can't get it, if I want chai and I can't get a traditional, I'm not going to fucking Starbucks. If I can't get a traditional cup of chai, but there's a Yemeni coffee around, if there's Yemeni, I know they'll have Adani chai. I know it. I know it for 100%.
Lattes, they're just not chai, like they're not good with the chai stuff.
Honestly, I mean, the last couple times, I mean, no offense, Starbucks, but
did you like
10 years ago, it was all right. It was all right.
There's the matcha places that we go to, though, that I love going to.
Shout out to Keo Matcha in Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You guys, shout out to two places, Keo Matcha in Squirrel Hill Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and shout out to Mecca. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correct. Mecca or Mecha Matcha, also in Squirrel Hill. Both of those places, if you want to have a proper matcha latte, that's where you go. You're gonna, especially like now I can't remember if Kyo Matcha has the levels, but I know the Mecha or Mecca Matcha has. You can get like beginner level, intermediate, or like, and I mean they put like the pro level. That matcha, baby, that thing's as green as Oscar's fucking trash can living ass. You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, goddamn, son, this ain't no. Oh, it's a chartreuse. Nah, bro, it green.
Yeah.
It looked like a big old. It looked like a big old fucking smoothie of goddamn wheatgrass juice, but it's way better because it's matcha. It's fun to say, kind of like the Seinfeld salsa. It's the new salsa, matcha.
So going back to what you were talking about before with the anxiety stuff and certain strains, though, is that I found that I am a big fan of what's called the Hillbilly Speedball. I love having like a strong coffee or something like that, or a strong tea with certain strains. It just gives me that euphoric and like focused
bro,
driven
Coffee
feeling. So productive.
Cannabis.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, and that's one of those. You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to do an episode with all three of us where we do some coffee and cannabis tasting.
Yeah, to see what pairs well too, like certain pairings of things with strains. Like, 'cause I used to do that with beers, like trying.
And I know exactly where to go get the beans too.
I used to love all the citrusy IPAs and how those would mix with certain sativas because they always have those citrus, profiles and stuff.
100%.
Doing that with coffees and stuff be really cool.
That's great. I used to. I love sours now. Sours are very good, like the candy tasting ones. I kind of moved over to that.
Shout out to our boy Project Gus. The one strain he has, and next time you come through, you're definitely gonna, sour berry Runtz.
Okay,
bruh. Yeah. I mean it's not like look. I'm gonna be honest. To me, that is a perfect one for Sach to work his magic with, where he infuses it, because it's not the strongest. Like, it is not the strongest in the box as far as effect in and of itself. However, the flavor, oh my God, bro. Like, God damn, that is some flavorful shit. Put a little sugar in there, little, hash. It's perfect.
Yeah, I found citrusy, and also with the strains I tend to gravitate towards a lot of this sativa dominant stuff is really peppery too, like has that black pepper like type of funk with
that particular flavor, and if I'm recalling correctly, and I do have to brush up on my terps, I want to say that's the Carofilene that has that peppery hint to it. I could be wrong. Please
bags,
do not
it almost makes me sneeze because it's almost like I inhaled fresh ground pepper while I'm smelling it. That was some good coffee.
Pepper,
a
little bit of pepper. And do you like garlic with that? Like, have you ever tried anything called GMO, like garlic mushroom onion? Yeah,
that's a strain. It literally smells like dinner.
Yeah, It tastes like dinner to me.
Yep.
It's something like that. I'm just curious. Like, do you like stuff like that or no?
Oh, here, let me put in my earbuds so I can hear you a little bit better, Satch. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, do you like the GMO style strains?
Like the genetically modified style strains? Is that what you're talking about, GMO?
Like garlic mushroom onion style strains, like the ones that are a little bit more earthy, or the ones that taste more like dinner. Like GMO to me tastes like dinner, or like
really?
more of the garlic profile. There's
like
that's
style profile.
Yeah.
There's
I'd say I'd have to explore it more. I don't know. I guess like mushroom and earthy. Like I like the mushroom coffee type of stuff, and I do fucks with the mushrooms when I'm in my culinary exploits. But I never really considered much of that, actually.
That's a really
like
good one.
for that one isn't bad, but I will say on the whole, for me, I do not tend to like the garlic style strains. That flavor profile.
You know what? I've
It's
had
a
strains like garlic cookies before.
yep.
That's pretty
You know,
good.
so. But I'd have to like take notes. Like I used to be much better at like, kind of just remembering sort of like profiles and my reactions to certain things. But
It is a lot. I mean, it is a lot to remember a lot of it. And I mean, I honestly, I don't know how the fuck we do it. Honest to God, I really don't, considering the amount that we be going through. But like, so let me kind of address one of the things you were saying before, like when you were going through the, that little bit of the anxiety with the edibles. In general, that's just going to be sativa, whether it's edibles, whether it's flower. That is always going to be one of the ones that, and even with, aside from sativa, those citrusy style, like that terpene itself, and which I found out from one of the bud tenders through the years. Even in sativas, it's usually the orange terpene that will set off your anxiety. The orange flavor.
But back to my thought about the taking notes thing. I think it would be helpful for people to maybe catalog like some of the stuff, because I used to have an app on my phone for like the craft beer stuff where you could like make beer notes of just like what you thought, like what you tasted, how it sat with you and all that stuff. But what you can do is that you can like kind of catalog what terpenes were in that particular strain, like you're talking about there. So that way, like it could build like your own kind of database of what your body reacts to best. So when you're
100%.
searching out things and purchasing for yourself, that you can go back into your smoke history and see like, I tried this strain, it had this and that in it. It was this level of THC.
That's a great idea.
And that way you can aim towards success in future endeavors. Yeah.
100%. No, that for our viewers out there, that was a great idea from Mike, and I'm pretty sure as well as Sach will fully agree with that. We have been, we got a little bit of experience under our belts. We're old fuckers. But yes, for those out there, and especially if you're trying to track, like if you are trying to nail down those great strains for your specific ailment, whether that be physical pain, i.e. knee pain, back pain, neck pain, whether that be mental issues, like I had, anxiety, depression, things of that nature, whether that's stomach type thing, you will find that certain ones, like I actually mentioned the other night, two of my medicinal go-tos right now would be the Rollie Drip and Gogurtz. Now, both of them check off all of my medicinal boxes, meaning they're both good for my anxiety. They're both good for my stomach stuff. They're both good for the depression. They're both good for panic attacks. However, Gogurtz has one thing that the Rollie Drip doesn't necessarily have for me personally.
Yeah.
Which is the Gogurtz hits me very, very heavy and is a really perfect nighttime strain that when I have insomnia flare-ups, 2-3 hits, bye-bye, good night. I go bye-bye.
Wow.
Go bye-bye.
Yeah. Like I can't smoke
it
a
works
whole
all
jab.
different for different people's body chemistries too, So
100%.
You can't just go by a booklet that tells you, oh, this will do this. Like you need your own sort of guide to guide through this. And I think that because of the like the quasi legalization of it, right, and the ability to go to dispos and places like that now that people will tell you what's in it. They can recite that to you, but they can't necessarily tell you how you're going to react to it. Like you may have this or that. Whereas, like if you had a reference point, I'll have to think up like I'm good at like templating things, so I'll figure out a way to like kind of template a guide like that for people to work through.
That would
where
be
they
awesome. Yeah,
take down like their history of experiences with certain things, so that when they go to make their next purchase, they'll be like, do you have anything that has this type of profile to it? Because I found success in this.
That is a great idea. That is something that we actually spoke about the other night. Where, just because your boy says, hey, this thing is the best things in sliced bread and toilet paper, that don't mean it's going to have that same effect on you. You might smoke and be like, good Lord Almighty.
Ain't shit for you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Or even the opposite, because there's something called the paradoxical effect, where something like an upper brings people down sometimes. People find
I've experienced that.
Yeah, people find out with alcohol that there's certain people, you give them alcohol, all of a sudden they're crazy out of their minds instead of them being like down and and subdued. Like it just.
There was one specific sativa strain I experienced that with. Everybody's like, oh man, this stuff got me so energetic, and oh man, I cleaned my whole living room, and I got halfway through a joint. I'm sitting there fucking looking at my goddamn fridge, contemplating the meaning of life.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what were they talking about, bro? I got shit to do. Yeah,
that was me back in the days where like I couldn't really control like what kind of strain I was really getting, and it's just like there would be times where like I knew it was an indica whenever I would wake up, smoke a little bit, and then like for the rest of the day I felt like I was fucking Mario in the underwater world. Just like everything's kind of delayed, and I'm like floating around and shit.
I know that, bro. I've totally been there myself. Like, you wake up in the morning, it's your day off, right? So you wake up in the morning, you get your coffee, you do a little wake and bake, and you have a little shit still left on your tray, and you pass out. Yeah. And you wake up and you're like, oh man, there's still shit on my tray. I should do a hit, and you load up that bong head,
the night weed,
and you hit it. And as soon as it hits you, you're like, I fucked. It's like, and we're done. Yeah, like it's just whatever you were gonna do, it's not. It just no.
You guys are probably there it is, the classic, man, the classic.
Oh gee.
Like
never played it once in my life. I've just only seen. I've never played. No.
Really?
Those compositions are some of the most like you could go all around the world with people of multiple generations and play that shit for them, and they'll know exactly what that is.
What are you talking about, bro?
That came up with that stuff. But then I forget actually. It's the same composer that worked with that and Zelda too. Where just like wake me up in the middle of the night, I could be out of my mind. I could be on fucking looped out of my mind on Benadryl, and you'd be like, "Mike, what the fuck is this?" And I'll tell you exactly where that came from, like no doubt.
I mean, dude, of course, like my dad, God bless him, God rest his soul. As soon as Nintendo came out, it was in our house, but good God, that Duck Hunt. I mean. Oh, what fun times! What fun times!
What's a good smoking video game? Like, what's one that you could just like you can kind of get
Donkey Kong Super Donkey Kong World Super NES.
Yeah, Yeah, because you want it to be
And
explorative, and you want it to be sort of
Contra.
forgiving because you're kind of
But-
fucked up, and like
Contra was a lot of
For-
fun.
for those
Contra?
older
Oh,
heads,
Yeah.
you probably had the same experience as I did, where you started out playing Donkey Kong World and you defeated the first icy mountain thing, and then you got to the water level, and that's when the shit kicked in, and then you hit pause and you just sit there and let that fucking bomb ass music play while you rolled another one because you're like, God damn it, I need to get more lit because this shit sounds great.
People are taking all those older sound engines and doing popular music using those tones. So like you can get like anything from like a metal song, or like people have done it on YouTube with like Meshuggah and stuff like the straight up fucking
Oh my
extreme metal
God.
shit. But it has like the sounds from Super Mario 64 or something. Like
pull up
fun times with that.
Pull up Donkey Kong World water level background music, please.
Yeah.
Let's bless the viewers for a little bit here, because I mean, God damn it, that just wow, does that bring back some fun fucking like old school 90s memories, man.
Yeah, I think it's like claves or something like that making those. It's almost they're like tubes that you would strike as an instrument to make those tones and stuff like that. But it was all keyboard MIDI stuff that they were using to make those, like the chip tunes and shit. Yeah. Those synth sounds are awesome.
Oh, that's that shit right there, bro.
You gonna touch yourself?
I don't think the viewers need to see that.
No, you're not on the street.
I'm just plugging my phone in and started beeping at me. Oh man.
It's like some Brian Eno type of stuff, like just really atmospheric synth-driven music.
Oh, and if you were lucky enough back in the day to have the surround sound with this shit, oh, forget about it, bro.
Yeah.
Like it, I mean.
Yeah, you can hear those strikes like sort of in the distance. Sounds they sound really distant right now, but like you can hear that clang going on there.
Oh man, that's like how could you not want to just sit back and chill and blaze with this? I mean,
I don't know.
like, oh, that was that shit right there, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked. I mean, video game music just in general had a huge effect, like on my life. But a lot of the old NES music for sure. I'll never forget. Both my mom and I were both addicted to Dr. Mario for NES, the puzzle game where like Mario threw the pills into the jar and stuff. But just like those themes and everything too. And then as I sort of progressed on and into more adult style video games, all the stuff that Sega Genesis had back in the day, such banging music because they had the better chip in it, for the music and whatnot, so they could play higher resolution types of tones and everything, and they had such great music, man.
Similar like this kind of thing, you think, right? That kind of music.
Look at that.
Who's that? That's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That is Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's in the Bloodsport movie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you can lay down on the ground and have the coconuts land on your abs like that without fucking you up, you're one badass dude.
Hell yeah, he can kick. And
Never
I've
forget
been to
that
that
scene.
spot, that exact spot, where that exact lion is and everything. It's freaking awesome. That little lion, you see him right here. He's on the side there.
Wow.
That's right. Sachin has a lot of history in the ancient city of Hong Kong.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I watched this. Speaking of video games and Van Damme, I watched this thing the other night where Van Damme was the he was the inspiration for the Johnny Cage character in Mortal Kombat, which is probably one of the more formative games of my lifetime because of the censorship, the violence, everything about it.
I
love
can see
fighting
it.
games,
I can
playing
see
that
it.
game with friends, you know, back in the day, or what it was like being in an arcade back then, where you
Oh
know
hell
you
yeah,
would
bro.
you would step up and put your quarter in and try and topple the guy that's been working the machine and working other people at the arcade too for an hour or two. But then like so they couldn't afford at the time to get Jean-Claude to be part of the mocap, like the motion capture stuff, with the little balls and shit on him to get him in the game originally. But then afterwards, when they finally made the movie, they were trying to get Jean-Claude to play Johnny Cage then in the movie, kind of like bring it all circular, like he's playing the character inspired by him, which is like a being John Malkovich type of fucking thing, you know. But and then they couldn't nail him down, and then he ended up being Guile in fucking Street Fighter, which bombed, which didn't do very well at all, and unfortunately it was Raul Julia's last movie too. God rest his soul.
Rest in peace. Yeah, definitely is. Gomez Adams.
Yeah, it was just never meant to be. Like they wanted Johnny Cage the entire time. You know, Ed Boon and them over at in Acclaim, they wanted him to be a part of it, and just couldn't ever lock the deal down. Like just fell through the cracks.
Which is unfortunate because that would have been that would have been big.
Mortal
that would
Kombat
have
the
been
movie
huge.
didn't do bad at the box office. I mean, it did all right, and that soundtrack, man. Like for me as a kid, hearing that Juke Joint Jezebel by KMFDM, that's still one of my favorite industrial rock, metal, whatever songs that comes on. That has a great tempo to it.
Mortal Kombat when it came, let me just put it this way: I'm 46 years old.
All right, yeah.
When that game came out on Sega Genesis, when it hit the market, I had it, and I to this day remember the blood code: AB, AC, ABB.
Yep. Well, that's also the title of a Genesis record, Abacab. They're a progressive rock band. They're like Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins came out of.
Yeah, I was gonna say Phil Collins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also in the metal genre, there's a deathcore band named Abacab too, and they're very, very heavy stuff. But yeah, the ABACABB, and then also the Konami code, the up down, left right, AB start.
Yep.
Yeah, contra. Yeah. Up,
Man.
Yeah.
Left, right. BA.
Oh wow, the good old days.
Yeah, good old days.
You know, then you fast forward to GTA with Nico Bellic, and all you have to do to enter cheat code is get out the cell phone and call number.
Oh man, I love those sandbox games though. Like what we were talking about before, like when I first started really hanging out with friends, and I had a PS2, and we'd smoke up and just like have the greatest time just running around those worlds and blowing shit up and putting the codes in to get the tank and everything like that. And
God, yeah,
seeing who could survive the longest with 5 stars, or who could create the most damage and stuff like that. It's just, I would never really play the missions. I would just put the codes in and just run around and do shit because it was so much fun.
That was my stress relief. Like I would just do, just dumb shit. Like okay, let me go around until I find a dude on a motorcycle, knock him off the motorcycle, and then try to see if I could drive it up the one side of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
Dumb shit. I mean. And the funny part is if you're somebody who lived in New York, obviously it wasn't, street for sure, but they did a pretty good job. I mean, you could recognize shit. You knew your way around. That was the guy. I'm like, oh, wait, they're right here. And it was good times. I learned a valuable lesson with that game.
Okay.
I can't do video games anymore. see, what happened was I got that game on a Friday night. It was Saturday night when I realized that I had been just sitting there playing and smoking and playing. I'm like, okay, I need to put this down. And yeah, then there was one of those, I'm going to go make something to eat. But before that, I'm going to just sit back and.
See, the psychology of games and the way that they were made to change so much from like the era of the NES and the Genesis, like we were talking about, to the modern era stuff with the PS2s and beyond, and
100%.
All the dudes that went to school for like psychology and like public relations and just understanding like marketing and media, like they've sort of honed in on like how the interactions hit those parts of your brain, sort of like how gambling hits that part of your brain. And now it's literally like that too, with like all the microtransactions that can occur in games and how you get people addicted to them. And the phone games are some of the worst too. And those are really popular in places like Japan and that, where it's just like there's more popularity in platforms there than there is in like the AAA, for PlayStation, like the big release games, like the ones that are banging right now financially for the companies are all just like the simple little games on your phone and everything like that people get addicted to. And I've seen friends 100%. Get like super addicted to those, like the Final Fantasies and the Marvel games. And
I mean, if that wasn't an actual thing, South Park wouldn't have made a whole fucking episode about that when Stan got addicted to the, Terrence and Phillip game.
World of Warcraft was the other one too, where like I had a friend that literally lost months of his life being addicted to that game, like hopelessly addicted to that game, to the point where like he's literally like shitting and pissing in a coffee can because he doesn't want to get up from the computer.
It's like
never leaving his room, never washing himself, like just destroys. It can destroy people. That type of addiction,
that's insane. I mean, I can see it. I can like it's my God, you get sucked into that world. Like you really just, it's what the fuck was that movie? Like it just pulls you, and
like the Matrix.
I gotta get this card. I gotta do it. And then, like, finally, when you snap out of it, and you're like, okay, dude, I seriously just fucked off 18 hours of my life in a fantasy world that is going to do nothing for me. And if anything, I have to pay because it costs me electric, it costs me time. So this cost, what did I get out of it? Did I even get any enjoyment? No, I'm still frustrated because I didn't get to the next level and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, bro. No. That's no.
Yeah, it is a lot, and then it's like you said, the time commitment too. Not just like the neglect of other things around you because you're so immersed in this other world. Like you forget about your physical self, your problems. Which hey, everybody needs an escape. I'm an escapist in a sense too, and I can empathize with that. But then like whenever you're inside of that too, like the way it hits like your impulses and other things too, then it's got to affect like I've seen like, especially when I was a kid, like I myself would react so disrespectfully towards my parents because back in the day you had like one fucking TV that was made of wood that sat on the floor and pivoted around, so like you get on that shit and start playing the game, and then all of a sudden mom's like, hey, it's time to get off of that. It's time to do your homework. It's time to, practice your instrument, do whatever, like time to do that. And then I would be like, no, I can't, I have to do this.
I got to get this next level.
So many arguments and stuff, man. Just, I can see what it does to relationships, in modern times, especially. Like I've heard so many people in my life, like, especially females complaining about the just losing their male partner to this new game came out. So like I'm not going to see Jimmy for like 4 fucking months because he's going to be playing the latest Call of Duty or whatever with his friends instead of, hanging out with his kids or doing anything constructive with his life. It's and those games can be therapeutic. There's definitely like like an endorphin rush that you get when you accomplish something, and it can teach you skills too. Like I swear I learned how to be a better driver through playing Gran Turismo for PS2 because it's like a simulation thing, like understanding the physics of how to follow the line, you know, when you're cornering and shit like that. It made because I was still learning. I was a young driver at the time, and I was still getting used to, you know, being behind the wheel. And that game taught me how to be, and also respect speed too, because like other games that where you're on a rail system where it doesn't matter how fast you're going, you slam into the wall, your thing just flips around and you're back on the same course. But like not simulation games like that. Like you hit a wall going 200 miles per hour in that game, you're fucked. Like your car's messed up and you ain't winning the race. Like it taught you to respect certain things. But yeah, I still like think back to that time suck though. Like if I would have had that time back from just being immersed in those types of worlds and been in my own, like how many other decisions, how many other opportunities, how many other things could have happened. But
100%. 100%.
Can't live in the past though. That's the other thing. That's one of the things about, I guess, like smoking and the culture of it and having, you know, being around people, especially for me, that are also partaking is just like, I don't know. It's kind of given me a different sense of like what I'm doing with my life and different sense of community, different sense of responsibility. It's brought a lot of good into my life, not especially after I gave up like the video games and then eventually gave up alcohol too. Like because for me, like I've never made like I'll probably always make questionable decisions, but at the same
We're
time, they're like
human.
nowhere near the same level where I was when I was drinking. You know, like
I can
I'm
vouch
much
for
more of a
that.
responsible and, you know, coherent person, regardless of
Yeah,
what I'm
same here.
smoking or where I'm smoking it or who I'm with. Like any
Same
day.
here. I went through that exact same thing. And we are nearing the 10 minute to 2 hour mark. So we'll probably start winding down for the evening here. But you know, closing, you know, let's start with some closing thoughts here. Sach, you've been sitting there rather quiet this evening for Mr. Sach. And
Yeah.
what are you thinking about, my friend?
Nothing.
Penny
I'm
for your
just
thoughts.
thinking about what we're going to talk about tomorrow, actually. We already talked yesterday about all kinds of cool stuff. One thing I really like talking about was the Olympics with you, you know, and
Yes.
yeah. But I haven't really gotten into anything much too crazy today. It was kind of quiet out there, you know. I kind of like flip through the socials, try to check out what people are talking about. A little quiet. People are looking more at the results of that New York competition. There's also one in Michigan that just got judged, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, actually, that was something I wanted to share at some point. What is it called? Best concentrates. So, Michigan Gems and Genetics Cup, they had some best concentrates. So they rated
Nice.
1, 2, and 3. So, number one would be Freight Train Canna. So you're like, well, what is this? Cherry papaya rosin.
Ooh.
Yeah, they've combined cherry and papaya, and I feel like if you
Okay.
put that into a nice, you know, joint, it could really taste very nice and complex and delicious. Second one is Hyzog.
Yeah.
It's a guava rosin, so people are getting more into the guava types, you know, like tastes and flavors. So
I'm noticing that a lot more.
Yeah,
Like this,
I'm
the
more guava.
exotic. Well, the leaning towards the more exotic fruit flavors versus the
Yeah,
traditional
glad you
strawberry,
said that.
blueberry.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to cut you off there. I do apologize.
No. I'm glad you said all of that because now we get down to the third one. It says Calabros, scented marker, crossed with Sherb cocktail. Oh, what do you know? CRC free live resin.
Ooh.
So it's not rosin, it's
Ooh.
resin. So resin is, you know, it's heated, whereas rosin is a cold cured style process.
And I will say this for the people out there, one real quick thing to add, and I think you'll vouch for this as well, that a lot of if you're especially in the Michigan market, your disposable all-in-one vapes that are live resin, if you are looking for, if you're one that doesn't like the artificial fruit flavors, etc., and you really just want a vape that actually tastes like bud, I would highly recommend strains in the live resin line. You're going to get that more natural flavor that you're looking for, that is going to be the closest to if you were to smoke flower, but still being a vape that you can carry around with.
I'll definitely vouch for the live rosins. I absolutely love like the greeny taste and flavors that you get with that. It feels so much more natural. And then just like you were talking about, when you eat something that's like processed, like we were talking about some fast food and stuff. Shout out to Del Taco again. You know, like you feel different when you take something that in than when you take in like a grass-fed beef steak that's straight from a farm. Like there's like a difference that your body chemistry 100%. And everything reacts to it differently. So like those live rosins, they sat really well with me. And again, the flavor profiles, if you want something earthy and greeny and just natural flavor tasting and doesn't taste like it came out of a Fruit Loops box or something like that.
Well, the big thing now is people are talking between live rosin or the concentrate wars between that and BHO. So BHO is making a comeback, and that's like some old school stuff. This is how a lot of this real concentrate stuff really, got started. I feel like between hash and then.
Well, and I've noticed too that the rosins have been not as plentiful at the dispos, where I'm at locally, because of the not just the demand, but then also because of the expense of the process of making it. Like sort of the cost benefit analysis of the companies, doing that shit is just like, yeah, this is better. This is a more refined and nicer product, but we're not making as much money off of it. There's not as much of a margin there to really position it towards other alternatives too, because like if they really wanted to make the money off of it or the margin on it that they would have before, then they'd have to price it up and pretty much price it out of most people trying it type of market. They're going to stick with something that's like $30 a cart versus $60 a cart when it comes down to it.
100%. But I think that being said, I really think that it should be, I mean, again, not to sound like a elitist or anything along those lines, but it is a premium product.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
It's not something that is readily available or that you have a high yield of the plant. You know what I mean? So, considering those factors, it should be a premium priced item. Because you are getting a premium product. I mean, I'm sorry, but like if you get some top quality. Like we were lucky enough. What was that company that had the Jellyman, Sach?
Oh my God, Jellyman is a legend. Let me tell you. Let me put that out there. Jellyman was the best hash rosin I've ever tried in my entire life. Ever. I tried a dispo version, and then I tried a private, company version. And my God, they were both just oh my God. It was similar to Candy Fumes. So that's, something contemporary that people
way more intense.
But it was Jellyman was it was like $80 a gram. That's how good this stuff was, and it was just fantastic. So
and honestly, it was worth every bit.
It was the best flavor I've ever tried in my life.
We enjoyed it out of a Puffco style digital device.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think if you're, wanting, again, this is not entry level stuff. Okay. This is all top shelf premium. If you are really in it, this isn't. I just want to get ripped. No, this isn't for you. This is not for you. Yes, you'll get ripped, but this is not for you because, unfortunately, I hate to say it, you're not going to appreciate the terp, and you're not going to appreciate the flavors.
What was our first time experience with Jellyman? Seriously, so let me explain to people. Wait, so I want to explain that.
Few and far between are the times I've been wrecked off of 2 hits of anything, but that was one of them.
Yeah. Well, okay,
I mean,
so Jellyman, the one that I tried was from Herbology, and let me see what it was here. I want to see a description that kind of confirmed that it is what I did try, because, like, I mean, it was fruity, it was candy, it was gassy. It was like everything you want really good freaking weed to be just shoved into your freaking Eastside Alchemy. That's what it was. So Eastside Alchemy. Live hash rosin.
Shout out to you guys, did a phenomenal job with that gel. Oh my God.
It was so delicious, and they don't have a description of the flavor profile, but I highly, highly recommend it. And right now they have a special offer, 1 gram rosin, 2 for $85 right now. So that's pretty good, and that's through.
God, do I wish I had a time machine? It was a portal, you know, just zip there.
So, and this one's out of stock, so people know what they're getting here. So yeah, Jellyman, really good stuff.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot out there, people. You know, and we're gonna try our damnedest to bring you the best of it and let you know what we feel you will enjoy smoking. I'm not gonna say what you should be smoking, even though you should be smoking this.
Our stream on Insta is over, and I think might want to kind of cut it at about 2 hours.
Yeah, well, people, Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure having you. Great conversation. Definitely looking forward to seeing you on here again. And to the rest of you viewers out there, stay blessed, stay lit, stay safe. Have a great evening.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
It helps us so much.